I've watched students transform from timid speakers into confident communicators. One who dreamed of traveling the world practiced daily with real-life scenarios in mind. As her fluency grew, so did her excitement for the future. Another, once terrified of speaking in public, eventually took on leadership roles in group discussions. Their journeys remind me that every effort, no matter how small, is worthwhile. Inspiration can come from anywhere. Some find it in music, others in movies, or in quiet moments when they realize every challenge is a chance to learn. I often ask myself, what keeps me going? The answer is simple: the desire to connect, understand, and share my thoughts clearly. And by sharing my story, I hope to inspire others to embark on their own journeys with courage and determination. As I close this narrative, I invite you to pause and reflect on your own journey to fluency. Think about the small steps you take each day, the moments you choose to speak, even when you're unsure of every word. Consider how every conversation, every mistake, every piece of feedback is a building block for your future success. Remember that fluency isn't about perfection, it's about progress. It's about the courage to try again, the wisdom to learn from errors, and the passion to keep moving forward, no matter the pace. I invite you to find what inspires you on this journey. Is it the promise of new friendships, the thrill of exploring different cultures, or the professional opportunities a global language brings? Whatever your reason, let it be your guiding star. Let it fuel your daily practice and remind you that every effort, however small, brings you closer to your goal. For me, the journey has been long and sometimes bumpy, but it's been one of the most rewarding experiences of my life. I've learned that fluency isn't a static achievement. It's a dynamic process, a blend of hard work, creativity, and resilience. It's a personal journey unique to each person, filled with moments of triumph and periods of doubt. But as long as you keep moving forward, every step counts. So, as you read these words, I encourage you to take a deep breath, embrace the challenges, and trust in your ability to learn and grow. Let the journey itself be a source of joy, and never underestimate the power of daily practice. Every conversation, every lesson, every interaction is a chance to evolve and become more fluent. And remember, you're not alone on this path. Countless others share your passion, and together you can overcome obstacles, learn from one another, and celebrate every victory along the way. I'll leave you with a question. What motivates you on your journey to English fluency? Perhaps it's the desire to explore the world, the wish to share your unique voice, or simply the love of learning something new each day. Whatever your answer, let it be the driving force behind your practice, and a reminder that every word you learn, every sentence you craft, and every conversation you have is a step toward a brighter, more connected future. Keep speaking, keep listening, and above all, keep believing in yourself. Your fluency isn't just about the language, it's about connecting with the world around you and discovering new horizons every day. I also encourage students to seek feedback. After conversations or presentations, ask for honest, constructive criticism from someone you trust. I often sit with students to discuss how they can better express their ideas. Embracing feedback and learning from it is a hallmark of every fluent language learner. Trying new things and stepping out of your comfort zone is also part of the journey. The best learning often happens when you push your limits. One student who chatted easily about daily topics struggled with technical discussions. I suggested she research unfamiliar subjects and talk about them in English. Though it was hard at first, it expanded her vocabulary and deepened her understanding of the language. Above all, enjoy the journey. Taking pleasure in the language, watching movies, reading stories, chatting with friends, turns learning into a joyful exploration. A sports-loving student watched English football match commentaries daily, mimicking the commentator's excited tone. It boosted his fluency and blended his love of sports with his language goals. When a passion drives your learning, every practice session becomes more engaging and effective. As crucial as practice and discipline are, reflecting on your progress is just as important. Every few weeks, I ask students to look back and assess how far they've come. One kept a weekly journal, writing about the past week's challenges. improvements she noticed, and goals for the days ahead. It gave her clarity and kept her going despite setbacks. Self-awareness also helps you understand body language and nonverbal communication. A student who focused on her gestures worried that tense movements undermined her message, even when her words were right. I suggested practicing in front of a mirror or recording herself. Over time, she grew more aware of her expressions and posture. Mastering these aspects boosted her overall fluency and clarity. It's a reminder that speaking a language isn't just about words, it's how you present them. Looking back at my own journey, I see there were no shortcuts. Every day brought challenges, sometimes progress felt painfully slow. But every conversation, every mispronounced word, every moment of hesitation helped me grow. Fluency isn't a finish line you cross. It's a journey of constant learning, forgetting, and relearning. It's about enjoying the process, even when results aren't immediate. I liken the fluency journey to a river flowing to the ocean. There are moments when the current rushes, and you feel rapid progress, and times when it seems you're barely moving. But every day brings you closer to your goal. What matters is persistence, staying determined even when progress feels sluggish. Daily practice, every conversation, every mistake chips away at building your fluency. Celebrating milestones matters too. Learning a new phrase, ordering food in English at a restaurant, chatting for 10 minutes without hesitation, these are proof you're on the right path. Each small win shows your efforts are paying off. Over time, these victories pile up, and you realize the journey itself is as rewarding as the destination. What kept me going was the truth that learning English isn't just a skill. It's a way to open doors. Every word I learned, every conversation I had, every cultural insight I gained let me understand a new part of the world. The idea that language is a bridge connecting us to people from different backgrounds, cultures, and perspectives always inspired me. That thought sustained my resolve, even on tough days when progress felt elusive. One of the greatest lessons I learned on this journey is that mistakes aren't failures. They're opportunities to grow. I had a student so afraid of errors that she barely spoke in class. She feared every mistake would prove her inadequacy. Every mistake is a lesson, I told her. They're not something to be ashamed of. They're proof you're trying. Each attempt brings you closer to fluency. Over time, she embraced her errors, spoke more freely, and learned from each one. She turned her fear into fuel for growth. To another student who froze when forgetting a word, I said, "Keep going. Don't let a momentary stumble disrupt your flow. Often, if you keep talking, the word will come to you." She learned that maintaining the rhythm of a conversation matters more than pausing for the perfect word. She became more fluid and confident. When we wove English into our daily routines, both my students and I saw huge leaps. Instead of confining practice to the classroom, we used it in everyday life. We tried speaking English at the market or cafe. It felt strange at first, but it became natural over time. One student who worked in a small shop decided to speak only English with customers. Though it was challenging at first, her interactions grew smoother. Customers appreciated her effort, and her confidence soared. Using English in real life didn't just boost her fluency, it opened doors to social growth and personal development. Reading is another fantastic way to build fluency. When I started learning English, I read simple books every night before bed. Each page taught me new words and phrases. I'd jot down unfamiliar ones, look them up, and try using them in conversation. This improved my comprehension and helped me speak more naturally and confidently. One day, a student brought me a book she couldn't understand. "The more you read, the more you'll grasp," I told her. "Don't give up over a few words. Each page is a step forward." Listening is as crucial to fluency as speaking. To truly understand a language, you need to hear its rhythm, tone, and pronunciation from native speakers. I often recommend that students listen to English podcasts, watch movies, or chat with fluent speakers. Hearing the language in its natural flow helps your mind absorb its patterns. One student recorded herself reading short passages, then listened back to critique and improve her pronunciation. It worked wonders for her progress. Another powerful method is thinking in English. Many students translate from their native language, slowing them down. I encouraged one to think directly in English. It was tough at first, but it became second nature. She started speaking more spontaneously and confidently. Thinking in English not only speeds up speech, it deepens your grasp of the language's nuances. A student who struggled with mixing languages mid-sentence, starting in English, then switching to her native tongue when stuck, heard this from me. It's tempting to take the easy route, but fluency comes from sticking with English. I suggested she describe a word she didn't know or use a simpler synonym. Over time, forcing herself to stay in English sharpened her ability to express thoughts in one language. The more she stuck with it, the more natural it felt. Every journey becomes easier with clear goals and milestones. I always tell my students, ask yourself why you want to be fluent in English. Is it to travel, advance your career, connect with other cultures? For one student, the dream of visiting an English-speaking country fueled her daily practice. She set small, achievable goals, learning 5 new words a day, practicing a short conversation each morning. As she hit her targets, her motivation grew, and her English visibly improved. Celebrating small victories is key. Mastering a new sentence, understanding a complex phrase, each success is a step forward. One student kept a journal of her progress, noting new words, successful conversations, and challenges overcome each week. It boosted her confidence and showed her how far she'd come. Alongside goal setting, creating a daily routine is vital. One student dedicated 30 minutes every morning to English, reading, speaking, listening to podcasts. This steady routine kept her disciplined and ensured consistent progress. It's easy to lose motivation in language learning, but a routine keeps you engaged and growing. No journey is traveled alone. One of the joys of learning English is connecting with fellow learners and native speakers. In my classes, I've seen the power of collaborative learning. 2 students who practiced speaking together became great friends. They met daily, shared experiences, corrected each other's mistakes, and celebrated every success. That supportive environment is invaluable, especially for beginners. When the dream of speaking English fluently first took root, I was still in high school. There was a flicker of hope inside me and a giant what if. Every time I opened my mouth, my tongue seemed to stick to the roof of my mouth. Even the words I knew felt foreign, drowning me in a sea of embarrassment. I stumbled over mistake after mistake, sometimes teetering on the edge of giving up, but somewhere deep within, a light kept burning. One day, in the middle of a lesson, after yet another fumbling attempt at speaking, my teacher approached me. Looking into my eyes, she said, "If you practice every day, you can speak fluently." That simple sentence sparked something in me. From that moment, learning English became a passion. I began to see fluency not as an unreachable fairy tale, but as a craft woven through effort. I realized that learning a language isn't a magic wand. It's more like planting a seed. The seed is tiny, almost invisible, yet it holds the potential to grow into a mighty tree. The process demands patience. You have to water it daily, ensure it gets sunlight. Over time, that seed grows stronger. In English, too, every bit of practice, no matter how small, builds up. Progress might feel slow at times, but with persistence, my skills began to blossom. Over the years, I met many students with dreams like mine. One came to me with teary eyes, confessing, "Teacher, I want to speak English, but I keep forgetting the words." I told her, fluency isn't about memorizing every word. It's about practicing until the language settles into your mind. I explained that it's not the fear of forgetting that matters, but the courage to keep trying. Every conversation was a chance to learn something new. Every mistake was a stepping stone toward fluency. Another student once asked me, brow furrowed, "Teacher, is speaking fast important?" In our class, there was a boy who spoke quickly but left everyone confused. "Absolutely not," I replied firmly. Fluency is about speaking clearly enough for others to understand you. It's about expressing your ideas with confidence and clarity. I encouraged him to slow down, focus on pronunciation, and prioritize sharing his thoughts logically over rushing to impress. That day, I understood that the journey to fluency is like other meaningful journeys in life. It requires patience, perseverance, and a willingness to learn. I began to see my own journey as an ongoing process. Every conversation, every written word, every quiet thought was an opportunity to grow. Over time, I noticed small changes in myself. I hesitated less, my pronunciation sharpened, my confidence grew. It wasn't an overnight transformation. Like a tree strengthening with each season, I was growing steadily. The secret I discovered was simple: practice. There's no magic formula for learning a language. It's the accumulation of countless practice moments, talking with friends, listening to English stories, singing along to favorite songs. Every opportunity mattered. I remember the days I'd listen intently to the stories my teacher read aloud. I'd repeat the words, first slowly, then faster as I grew comfortable. It was hard at first, but over time, I noticed my vocabulary expanding and my confidence rising. I learned that repetition wasn't wasted effort. It was the key to internalizing new words and phrases. Sometimes, it might feel like you're not moving forward. One student complained that no matter how much she practiced, she couldn't recall words when she needed them. I told her that the most vital part of fluency is persistence. Think of it like running, I said. You might not notice every step, but over time, you gain endurance and strength. Just as a runner improves with training, your language skills become natural with daily practice. In another example, I had a painfully shy friend who only spoke when alone or with a few people. I encouraged him to try small conversations with classmates, even strangers. Though it was tough at first, he began to enjoy those interactions. He discovered that every chat was a chance to learn something new. His progress came not in giant leaps, but in small, steady improvements. I'll never forget a student who adored music. She listened to English songs every day, sometimes with lyrics, sometimes without. Eventually, she started singing along, not worrying about words or pronunciation, just enjoying the music. Her overall fluency improved noticeably. By blending her passion with daily practice, she turned her hobby into a powerful learning tool.